bad bitches have rosters. So like if you don't have a roster, you're not like a bad bitch. And like that's not true. Two things can be true at once.
As soon as it's like abs. I've never admitted that to the world until just now.
Real. It's finding joy in that waiting game, but damn, sometimes you be waiting. It's crazy.
No.
Welcome back to Kickin It With Katelyn.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Kickin It With Katelyn. Today, we are kicking it with none other than Tori.
Hey y'all.
So today, we are going to be talking about struggles. I asked Tori to bring some of her struggles. They could have been deep, they could have been shallow. Mine are really shallow, but you are on the visiting team, so I'll have you start with one of your struggles.
Okay, the first one, and you kind of put this in your notes already, but I am also going to talk about dating.
Okay. Yes!
Specifically, why are the dating apps so rude? Like, I am getting my feelings hurt on these apps. It's crazy. It's disgusting. I feel like, how are people meeting people in real life? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so when you say it's disrespectful, explain. I want to know
Like,
how you're experiencing this.
Okay, listen, I am a pretty girl, but I'm not like top 10, 1,000%. And I'm funny, but whatever. But
Bruh. No rebuttal yet. Sorry, I'll let you keep going.
I'm a solid 7 at my best, and that's incredible. I bring other things to the table, but like these men be shooting their shot, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, and that sounds,
Okay,
this is so rude.
Saying.
It sounds so rude. Everyone deserves love, obviously, but I'm like, you know you looked at my profile and was like, yes. Am I going to hell?
No, because I'm experiencing the same thing. Like, okay, so my thing about Hinge is like, it doesn't matter if you think someone's cute or not, but also like, you look like that and I look like this and you thought we would match?
You thought puzzle piece? That's crazy. No, I had one the other, like a couple weeks ago. It's the one that made me delete all of my like dating profiles. I had just gone on another date with a guy from Hinge, and it did not go. It didn't go bad, but like
it was a Hinge.
It didn't go exactly. The man ordered a pineapple juice at the table. It was kind of crazy, but side note, yes,
he thought he was gonna get some from you
the
that
man
night.
Ordered a pineapple juice and grenadine and thought swaggy, and I said, I think I'm gonna go home. I didn't even know that ick existed until that moment. But anyways, so like I got off that and I'm like, all right, this isn't anything. So I was like, let me get back on Hinge. And the very first one was like, just not it. And I was like, you know what? Let me take some time.
Let me sit my ass.
No, literally, bro. I was like, let me take some time to really just try to meet people out in public or be alone. Like, it's fine.
Right.
I don't mind being alone.
Okay.
But also, like, I do feel like I did a lot of work in my 20s on myself, and now I am ready for, like, something real. So now that I'm ready, I'm like, what the fuck are we waiting on? What's happening?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am still in my 20s.
Yeah.
But I do feel that exact thing. I'm very much like, no one come near me, no one touch me, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
don't come near me. But now that I'm trying to be more feminine in my romance girl era, I'm like, where y'all at?
No, exactly.
Where y'all at though?
Like, this is crazy. And like, it's just it's frustrating and it's like disheartening. Cause like my friends and I always say like we're so lucky in friendship, but like so unlucky in relationships.
Oh.
And it is like so sweet. And that's the thing, we're like, oh my God, we're so like cute and like platonically romantic. But like, where is that? Where do I need to go? Anyone watching this video in the comments, Hotman, Sweetman, where can I find you? Out in the wild, because it's not on Hinge. I tried Tinder. It's not on Tinder.
I'm like, well,
not you mute.
Okay, so like, what I'm thinking is that I want a man who can dance, right?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that needs to get fixed on this side. But like, I also want like a cowboy. Because their morals and whatnot is good.
Yeah.
But men are just, ugh.
Like, the good ones are so few and far between. And I do know a lot of, like, really good ones. They're mainly all taken or, like, gay. But, like,
Right.
truly, where are just, like, the good or, like, morals, but also, like, I want to be dated with intention. I want somebody that wants to be with, I'm dating with intention. I want to be with somebody that I want to be with because of them specifically, not just because I want a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, vice versa. I don't want to be with somebody that just wants a girlfriend, so I'm there to, like, fill a space or tick a box.
Ooh.
And where is that? Like, where is that?
That's a really good point. I kind of sent you, like, a video about the morning spin, like, the coffee thing.
Yeah.
I saw videos that it went really well. But as I'm looking through the video, I'm like, these are all douchebags. Like, the Austin influencers, they all look the same.
Yeah.
There's no way they're not circle jerk in the corner.
Exactly.
They're in love with themselves, like, too much.
Yes.
That they don't see anyone else.
It's like they're in love with themselves and they're in love with, like, their jobs and the way that they come off in the world. Mm-hmm. And that is so icky to me. Obviously, like, you want to be a good person. You want to, like, show a good light in that way. But also, like, your image doesn't matter. And I'm not going to deal with your ego. I'm not here to stroke anybody's ego. Like, get your ego out of my face. And that is, like, that was a problem with, like, my dating history in the past is I usually date men who have huge egos because they're very ambitious and also, like, usually successful.
Yeah.
And those things sometimes go together. But I'm like, there's some rare fucking unicorn out in the world who is successful in their own way. They don't even need to be, like, making money. Like, obviously you need to live, but, like, and, like, kind without an ego. Where is that?
I don't think it's in Austin. And, like,
agree.
if it is, okay, so some people would argue, like, yeah, it is here.
Yeah.
I don't think that there is one person who's, like, perfect, because no one is perfect.
Yeah,
exactly. But, I mean, like, one of my struggles also falls in line with yours. Like, where do we draw the line of where we're being picky at and when we're not being picky at? Because, like, everyone says, oh, like, don't worry about looks. It's all about personality. Well, looks do matter, and so does personality.
For sure.
And, like, you got to have a strong one or the other, but also these personalities are not strong in any which way.
No, it's very, like, surface level. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, another issue I have with, like, dating apps is it's all so surface level. And I don't do surface level well. Like, let's get down to your deepest traumas. Let's talk about why you are the way you are.
Yeah.
What happened to you in your childhood that made you react that way? Like, I want to know. I don't care what you had for breakfast. Like,
I'm over it too.
It's just very, like, rinse and repeat. It's very much the same thing all the time. And, like, it's just exhausting. It's exhausting. I
agree. And you know what? Like, people are probably nervous. Like, oh, I don't want to tell people that much about myself. But
for sure,
in the end, you don't even remember the name of the last guy you matched with or last person you had a conversation with. Like, I feel like we're also taking in way too many new people that don't matter.
Yeah.
So you're just going to fall into that group. So you might as well have meaningful conversations while you're out there already.
Exactly. Because the chances are, like, you're either never going to see them again or you hit it off and then it, like, becomes something real. So what do you have to lose? And that's how I am. And maybe that plays into why I'm so fucking single. Because I'm like, this is me. Surprise.
I love this self-reflection, honestly.
Listen, I think it's important. And that is what I learned in my 20s. Like, you do need to be able to look in and be like, oh no, like, I'm doing this. And maybe that's why it's not working. Or, like, this is who I am. This is my shit. I could fix that. And, like, obviously it's two people bringing two things to the table, but, like, I just want somebody else that's also doing that work.
I agree. And, you know, a lot of people are always throwing, like, the age thing out there. Oh, men just take a little bit longer or whatnot.
Yeah.
We've lived the same amount of life.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're taking longer? Like, why is that an excuse?
1,000%. It's like, they say, like, boys mature slower, like, or, like, when you were growing up and they're like, he's picking on you because he likes you. I'm like, that is, like, something, it's like something society tells girls to make that behavior okay. And it's so disgusting. We're done. The Barbie movie came out 2 years and we're still dealing with those problems.
And the Mojo Jojo cost a house.
I'm gonna light it on fire. Enough. Like, and look at where it's gotten, like, just not to get, like, fucking political, but, like, the state of the country and where it's gotten us. Like,
No, I 100% agree. I mean, everything is political. I'm just going to put
facts.
it out there.
It's all
Everything's
connected.
political. I don't think that I am the right person to be talking about these political
Same.
things because
Yeah.
I don't know enough. But what I do know tells me enough that there is problems everywhere.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about political
Facts.
issues today because then we'd be
Yeah.
sitting somewhere with our computer,
Yeah.
not off dome.
Crying. Yeah.
But I mean, we're not blind to what's happening. And it just makes me a little bit more nervous now that, like, there's a lot more things that could happen. Like, we already thought our life was shitty.
Bruh.
Well,
We're just getting started.
yeah, and I also am kind of nervous about, like, dating as well and putting ourselves out there.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh, I can do what I want. Speaking in the sense of a man.
Yeah,
Like, I can
yeah,
do what
yeah.
I want. I'm not going to be in trouble. Like,
It's acceptable.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, that wasn't part of our struggles, but this is a real struggle. I mean, like, most of my audience are the girls, gays, and theys.
Yeah.
We
I
all
love
feel
those.
very similar.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak on the Christian girls, gays, and theys.
That's not for me.
But I am also at a loss of, like, where are we looking for these guys at?
Yeah.
Because I am trying to here's my thought process. I need to put more into the world of what I'm looking for so that I can then
Absolutely.
receive it. And it's honestly not hard, I don't think, but it's a long waiting game.
For sure. It's not hard, but it's definitely a lot of, like, introspection again. And, like, I saw this, like, TikTok, I'm sure, some video online that was like, sit down. Oh, I saw Viola Davis did an interview and she was like, somebody told me to sit down and write all the things I want out of a husband. Mm-hmm. So I did that. And then she met her husband, like, something crazy, like 2 weeks, a month after she did that. It don't work. Okay. I'm gonna tell you that. But me still looking at my list, like, okay. But I will say what that did is it helped me be like, okay, I know what I bring to a relationship, but I also know what I want out of somebody who I want to be in a relationship with. And that did help. But it is still, like, you just have to be okay with the wait. And, like, that's what I try to tell, like, my little cousins and stuff is, like, it's so rare. And we're usually the first ones in our generations to be, like, single women living alone, doing our own shit. Mm-hmm. And that's also special. Like,
no, it is. It's an accomplishment.
Exactly. So you need to be able to be happy in that lifestyle and good with yourself before you can, like, let somebody else in.
Right.
So that is what I've really done a lot too, is just, like, spending my 20s in that waiting game, waiting for somebody, just being like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I like to do this. It's cool. I can travel, whatever, while I can. Because as a woman, like, you only have so long to be selfish before you do become a wife and a mother, usually, whatever. So, like, it's finding joy in that waiting game. But damn, sometimes you be waiting. It's crazy.
So I completely agree with that. I mean, like, I think that I am a patient person, but like, the more I am with myself, the more I start to reflect on my life and, like, how cool this would be to spend it with someone else, to share it. Just because, like, I think we're kick-ass people and we spend time with each other and we enjoy it. But, like, what about, like, romantically? So,
Exactly. Someone to share it, I think, is, like, the biggest, for sure.
And, like, I get the worst FOMO whenever I see people out in public, especially when I'm reading, like, a romance book. I'm like, where they at?
No, it's me and my messed up brain from watching, like, rom-coms growing up. And now I'm, like, an adult and I'm like, what if I just wanted a smidge of that? Like, where is that?
Also, I want to put out there that, like, the straight men that I do have that watch my podcast, y'all are really cool. Y'all are winners, but not all of y'all are for us. So that's, like, part of it. We have a lot of really good, like, straight men who are our friends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, either we don't like your personality or your looks just aren't cutting it. And I'm just being honest. I'm not going to tell you which is which.
It's like,
but it's one or the other.
It's like on How I Met Your Mother, like, that old sitcom, they have this, like, joke of, like, and it's actually, this bit's gross, but, like, I'm gonna bring it in something else, but it's called, like, the crazy hot scale. And, like, if somebody is gonna be crazy, they need to be, like, really hot.
Yep.
And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't need a 10 either. Like, I don't need a top 10 person. But, like, if you are mid and your personality is mid and you have this huge giant ego, or, like, you think you, like, are The Gift, I'm like, no. No.
I agree with that. I do tend to go for guys who are pretty much like dirtbags. So like they have to be hot.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm a fucking winner.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you
And
actually have to be doing it like look-wise.
Yeah, and you know that about yourself, and that's huge.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so shallow, especially I am part of the shallow part of the dating apps.
Yeah.
As soon as it's like abs, I'm like, I've never admitted that to the world
No, dude,
until
that's good.
just
That's
now.
real.
But I mean, like, I was going through, I bounced, okay.
Like, if you think about, like, men who grew up mainly with their mom, they go one of two ways. They're either, like, super sweetie, or they're, like, the ickiest douche you've ever met in your life.
They're worse than anyone else who lives on this earth.
Yeah, and I wonder if that does come back to, like, Sunday mornings, it's just them, like, watching rom-coms, and it's, like, I know, I'm trying to think of, like, a rom-com man that is just so gross to me.
They probably think that all the Adam Sandler movies are rom-coms.
Their favorite rom-com is 50 First Dates. Actually, a great movie, but Mr. Deeds or some shit.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, like, as a little girl, it's princesses, fairy tales. And I
Yeah.
understand that guys also watch that too. Because, like, we all had siblings.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's fair for us to be basing our expectations off of that if they're watching the same thing. So I'm just really curious, like, where is this mindset being curated at?
Yeah.
And I also understand that, like, it's from each other, but where was the original from that this is so disgustingly wrong?
Yeah.
That there's so many people like
where
this.
did this start? Yeah.
And also, I'm playing, like, devil's advocate at the same time. There are some terrible women, like, genuinely
For sure.
terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know many of them, though, in comparison to men.
The percentage is staggering, for sure. I do know some, but even then, like, when I think about the horrible women, or just women that I can't stand, or, like, I just know the way they act is not good, usually they're in relationships. And I'm like, that's how?
This is true.
How? I think about, like, I have 3 people in my mind right now, and I'm like, that's crazy. That's how.
And see, like, I always turn the mirror to myself, like, what are you doing wrong? I don't think we're doing anything wrong.
No.
I mean, women are perfect, obviously.
I mean, I've, like, never done anything wrong in my life.
I kind of want to blame the culture, but also at the same time, like, it's not that deep.
For sure.
I'm so, like, it's not that deep, but yes, it is really that deep. I'm trying to stay, like, up here.
Yeah. Well, you have to, because then it just gets, like, really depressing and sad.
Very good point there.
Yeah. Anyway, but, like, I do love being single, but, like, I do think has to do with the culture for sure. Mm-hmm. Like, I grew up with a brother, and I love him. He's a great person. But even just, like, and I grew up in a great household. But even just seeing the differences there and the double standards, like, my dad told me that in high school. He was like, there are going to be double standards for you. Like, your brother's going to get to do things you're not going to because you're a girl. And, like, to a certain extent, I get that. Like, no, I could get pregnant. He couldn't get pregnant. So, like, I do get that to an extent. But I think that's so ingrained in our culture that it's just, like, the norm. And that's crazy.
And, like, like I said, like, I'm trying to put more out there of what I want, and I always get, like, roasted. Anytime I'm like, oh, I'll go half on a bill, or, like, after the first one, I'll get the second one, or whatever. Yeah. But, like, really, I do think that guys are also tired of being, like, taken advantage of.
For sure.
Financially. And that honestly, sorry, this is going to piss a lot of y'all off. That really disgusts me, because at the end of the day, we're all just human.
Yeah.
Like, why are we separating ourselves like that? And I understand chivalry.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. If he wants to, he will.
Yes.
But there's a lot of women out there who are like, he better pay for my stuff, and he better pay for the first date.
Like, I'm doing it for a free dinner. And I totally agree. Chivalry can exist in so many other ways than, like, paying for the bill. Mm-hmm. And for me, like, I'm not dating to find somebody to support me financially. So I do the same thing. I love to pay for my own, like, drinks, or I'll try to get the next round, or I'll get the second date, because I want to make it clear that I'm not in this for a meal ticket.
Right.
Like, a partnership is equal. That's what I want, an equal partnership. So like, I'm not trying to, I want you to know I don't want you to pay for all my shit. Because same thing, like I wouldn't want to pay for a dinner that I know for like somebody I'm just going to hang out with one time. I could see that side for sure.
Absolutely, especially in this economy.
Yeah, like be for real. Eggs are $10.
I think that like so many people are so aggressive with it, it's turned off so many.
Yeah.
And that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Because I know like at a time I would thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I think the baddie movement of like 2016
Yeah.
really put that out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people grew up through that movement and it's like, I don't want to be part of that. So I get it. But we're grown now. And I understand that, like, you find some good ones and you find some bad ones. But, like, we're here telling you right now we're willing to go half. And also, I think about this as well. I don't see myself not being successful.
Same.
So I don't care if I'm the one who's paying for the dates.
Same.
Because I am expecting that already.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm leaving the house to go to a hang, whether it's a date or not, knowing I'm going to pay. Like, that's not the support I want. It's not the support I need out of a relationship because same, like, I know I'm always going to make my own money. I always want to be making my own money. So yeah, like, it's just, that's not important to me. Obviously, I want somebody who makes their own money, but like, I'm not in it for that. What, are you going to buy me a latte? I'm good, thanks.
I think that there's just so many people in it for financial gain, and I get it. It is cheaper to have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend and move into a 1-bedroom, 1-bath.
I mean, a dual income household is different than like expecting you to pay for all my dates, for sure. Yeah.
I do think that there are some evil people out there who are plotting to go on a date for that reason, though. So I'm not trying to neglect that as well, but I just think that it's ridiculous that finances play such a huge part in the dating game when we're just dating.
Yeah.
Like, we're just dating. I also am very irked by the fact that people don't want to date. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
You're the only person who cares about how many people you've dated. Fuck the rest of the world. Like,
who cares what other people think about you? Like, do it for you and because you want to. Like you said, who cares how many people you've been on a date with? Like, dating is so important because you need to know if you even like that person. Like, it takes me so long to know if I even like somebody. Like, I'm not getting that in our 1-hour hang because people are so good at like putting on this facade. It's so easy to put on a mask.
yeah.
And sometimes it takes a long time. That's why they have like the 3-month thing where like a lot of relationships fall apart at 3 months because that's usually how long people can like put on that charade for. And so like, it's just, you have to put yourself out there and do that dating, that weird like in between. It's necessary. You need it.
It is. And, it does get awkward because then at the 3-month mark, you're kind of like, oh, we have been in this for this long. Like, what? Why am I still in this if I'm not feeling like I'm getting anything?
Yeah. Which is valid.
You're going to live a lot of 3 months. Try it out with somebody.
That's the worst part. Exactly. Like, you're going to live those 3 months anyways. And if you do find yourself enjoying your time with that person, you're with them, then what hurts to just like live those 3 months and see where it goes. It does suck when you have to like do it over and over again, but like that's unfortunately the name of the game.
And I also think that like, okay, so you have to do it over and over again. So?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you are really in here as a strong individual person and this person is just an addition to what you already have going, it's really not going to feel like you're doing it over and over again because you're just living your life. This is just, you can consider it like a friend at that time. And you just, we blow through friends like whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why like people are so scared to date.
Yeah. I agree. Like, bring back courting.
Yes!
Like, bring back courting.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah. Like, I want to go steady. Let's court. Let's date. Like, nothing. And it doesn't even need to be anything crazy. I don't need you doing all this stuff with me. Just, ask me questions about myself. And let's go be cute and hang out.
It's not that difficult. I really do think that it revolves around other people's perceptions of you. Like, they're scared that, what if you go together and go get cookies from Walmart? Who's going to see me? Why the fuck does it care who sees you?
Yeah. Well, then it's like, well, are you afraid to be seen with me?
That's another layer to that.
Because that's a problem.
That's another
Then why
layer.
are we doing this? Yeah. Like, who are you afraid of being seen by? And what are you afraid of them seeing? And then why do you care?
You know what's crazy? Also, I just keep adding to this.
Same. We're just talking about the same thing over and over again. I love it.
It's only one topic.
I knew it wasn't going to be a problem for us to fill time. I love it.
The hard part is going to be cutting it down.
Yeah.
I also think that we're always scared that the other person is seeing a different person at the same time as us. And it goes both ways.
For
and
sure.
then we both treat each other like shit because then we keep our options open because we're scared of that. But it's like, if you were just to be like, okay, actually, let's just date and be exclusive, that would eliminate so many problems.
That to me is like one of the hottest things. Like, because it is very much like when you first meet someone new and you're on those initial like first dates, you don't want to throw out all your other options. Like, and not like to even say that I have other options at the time. Like, but you want to keep doors open because who knows what's going to happen. But also, how can you date intentionally when you have your hand in like 4 different pots?
You can't.
You can't.
No.
Yeah. And I'm very much like, that's my autism brain, is I'm very much like all or nothing. So I've always like, I remember when I was in therapy, my therapist was like, you should try to get a roster, like build a roster. And that was so hard for me. Like I had like 3 guys that I was like kind of going out with, like nothing super serious. And I was like, I hate this. Because it all comes back to me like, I'm trying to get as deep as possible, like as soon as we can, as soon as you're down for it. And that was just very surface level. It's hard for me to do that, like, roster thing. But I did it to her judgment.
I mean, I've done it before, too. And I think it was more like a status.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I wanted to do that. It was like, oh, who's on your roster?
Yeah. It was very much like, fine, I'll go hang out with someone else. Like, there's, like, a perception to that, too, of, like, bad bitches have rosters. So, like, if you don't have a roster, you're not, like, a bad bitch. And, like, that's not true. 2 things can be true at once. 2 things can be true at once.
I also would like for people to deep dive into more sentimental things early on and just be themselves. Like, I have made it a point that, like, I don't like texting people.
Pause.
But when I do want to text people, I'm very quick.
Yeah.
And it used to bother me so much whenever people were like, oh, let me just wait a minute. No, I'm on my phone right now. Let me just respond to them. And I don't give a fuck if you think this is cringe or not. You shouldn't think it's cringe because you want to text me. So I'm texting you back quick.
Yeah. I agree. Because I was very much like when I was growing up, like in high school and like college, it was like, oh, well, he took 20 minutes to respond to me. I'm going to take 30 because I'm like so busy, but I'm just like high on my couch doing nothing. And now I'm the same way. I'm like, if I'm on my phone and you text me, I'm replying back in 30 seconds. And if that gives you the ick, I don't want to be with you. I don't want that.
Because why would you not want to talk to me?
Exactly. Or like, yeah, like that means you're playing games. And I am done. I'm so done. I'll be single forever happily. Then play games, like 1,000%. Because at the very worst of it, if I never meet somebody, it's me and my 4 best friends at a house somewhere at 60 being the Golden Girls. And that was my OG dream since I was like 7. So as much as I would love to find love and get married, like the alternative also rocks. And that's fine.
You heard it here, folks. Well, I know you've heard us go in a circle over and over again about the same topic, but like, I know many people are thinking the same thing.
We're not alone.
Yeah. Let us know what you're thinking because I'm curious.
Same.
The more that people comment, the more you're going to be like, well, I also feel the same way.
Yeah. Or change the narrative. Like,
yes, and I want to know if you have a rebuttal. Comment
please.
I want to know. Like I am willing to change my opinion on things if people are willing to explain why they think that way.
Yeah.
So.
If you come at me with a good explanation, I would love to hear you out. Like I'm meeting you in the middle to hear you out. Let's talk. Let me hear it. Here for it. Heard.
Well, Tori, do you have anything that you want to plug before we sign off today?
Follow me on Instagram. Yeah, I was gonna plug the blind date, but that will be off the internet by then because I'm gonna do it in festivals. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, Tori_Haddix. I'm on TikTok, Sad Clowns with 3 Z's. Yeah, that's it.
Y'all know where to find me on TikTok and Instagram at kickingitw.Katelyn. You already watched the whole video. You're gonna come back for the next one. You might as well subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.